Podcast, you can't win. Talking a good game, you can't win. Topics never lame, you can't win. Win.
Not your average Joseph. Marvelous. It's ridiculously funny.
What's up, everybody? I'm Marvelous.
And I'm Not Your Average Joseph.
And we are the Podical Sons. Let's start the show. Like, comment, subscribe, all the above.
All of that.
All streaming platforms, Podical Sons Podcast. On YouTube and Spotify, you can see our lovely faces and the website, podicalsons.com.
We are here.
Let's start the show. How you feeling today? Smooth?
I'm feeling fine as usual. And yourself, Mark?
Anything better? I might sell my health card.
Hold on, not yet. Not quite yet. I think they're going to go up in value in a little bit.
Yeah, my love ain't free. My love ain't free. It ain't cheap. So it's going to be a little price on it, whatever, because I'm not going to sell it for 100 racks. I got to do better than that.
Yeah, they do better than that.
Yeah. We have a lovely guest on our show.
Yes.
The lovely Nicole
Melissa. I am a relationship consultant and matchmaker. I should say I'm a Christian relationship consultant and matchmaker.
Okay.
I've been doing so it's coming on my 25th year.
25 years?
25 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Been at it for a minute.
Yeah.
Been at it for a minute.
Yeah. That's blessed. How you pulled that off? No one drove you insane yet?
Many a times I thought I was going to quit.
Okay.
Many a times I was like, I'm not doing this.
And
I'm not doing this.
Was it always like Christian matchmaking? Or was it just
okay. So see what had happened was, so God just recently, so probably almost 5 years ago, 2019.
Okay.
A lot started to change for me. Like he was starting to bring me out of the secular world.
Okay.
At the time it was still matchmaking as usual in the secular world. But gradually, surely, but slowly he was taking me out of the world. And I was like, I grew up in a Christian household.
Okay.
However, I was outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, a part of the world committee.
Mm-hmm.
And, but there was something happening in me and I wasn't sure what was going on. And he just kind of took me on this journey. And then he was like, finally, and I say to you, when I say like it was this year, and I want to even say it was like 4 months ago now, that he's actually set out that it is that he's given me this love ministry.
Okay.
And that I'm to come out, take my skills from the secular and bring them to the kingdom. Right. So I've always grew up, I was saved in 2007.
Okay.
However, like I said, I was outside.
Yeah. No one's perfect.
So exactly, right?
Yeah.
And so, but then he called me to himself and he was like, no, come, it's time. And I just know that whatever it is, that's something's happening. I don't know if y'all can sense it.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all sense something happening in the world?
Yeah.
Okay. Something's happening and God wants his kingdom prepared. So he's starting to pull people from places you wouldn't expect.
That's a nice way to look at it.
Yeah.
So come think about it. Because I look at it stuff as like, when you're seeing the world at its current state, you're looking like, this ain't right. Or this don't make no damn sense. So now with that being said and stuff, whatever, it's kind of like, I notice a lot of togetherness coming from like specific pockets of people.
Yes.
Right.
Whether it be religion, whether it be like friendship, camaraderie, or like, but the groups are formulating.
Yes. Very true.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. There is something happening. There is like a quickening also. Like, do you notice that the years are flying by? The hours, the weeks, the days are just...
We're already in summer. And some people are here talking about summer's over. Yeah.
It's about to be July.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, it was just January.
Yeah. Just January.
I'm telling you, right? But this is not a coincidence. God is doing something right now. He is moving and he wants to get everybody together. He's he's waking up all his children from whatever parts of the world that they're doing whatever they're not supposed to be doing and calling them to getting them in line to get them to do what it is he's called them to do.
Okay.
And so he's pulled me from the secular world of matchmaking into the kingdom world. Essentially, it's not anything really different that I'm doing outside of, it's just with way more purpose. I always had a purpose.
Right.
But this is a bigger purpose and it's for the kingdom of God.
So would you
Yeah.
not matchmake for people that weren't baptized?
Yes. I'm gonna tell you what it is too. Because of the company that I started called Artsy Academy and Matchmaking,
Mhm.
it is initially, like I said to you, just in like the last 3 months that I realized that it's going to be predominantly Christian
Mhm.
based. Before that, I thought I was going to have everybody come through.
Right,
I wasn't trying to.
Well, because you've been doing it for years, anyway,
It's
so everyone's
100%,
coming through.
right? But I just figured, like, whatever, you could be anybody, and it doesn't change that I'm a Christian. It doesn't change that I believe in God.
Right.
You know, blessed if you do too. You know what I mean? But I wasn't thinking that I needed to not invite them.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, So just now, I feel like it wouldn't be right for that person coming in.
Mhm.
Not only would it not be right for my members, but it's not going to be right for that person coming in because they're looking for somebody that is Christian, right? I want to be known as a Christian matchmaking service.
Gotcha.
Right.
Right.
So, mhm.
Yeah, it makes sense. So
Yeah.
when you encompass this whole this matchmaking service, right? What does that entail? Is it like how does one go about advertising their services within the Christian world? Is it like through church?
Honey, I'm learning that right now.
Right.
I'm on this, I'm on this journey trying to figure it out right now as well.
Because it sounds like Christian mingle on steroids.
Yeah, exactly. But Christian mingle,
yeah, I've heard stories. I've heard stories. That's why I said on steroids.
Yeah, exactly,
Right. Yeah.
exactly. So right now I haven't, like I said, I just getting my footing in this right now.
Right.
Because everything that I was doing prior to that, I had to dismantle. Right.
Okay.
Gotcha.
God had actually had me dismantling this since 2019. So I should probably fill you in on this. So prior
about
to
this awakening.
the awakening too. The awakening was a gradual process. But before I get there, I want to say that I had a company prior to this called the Love Listeners. Okay. And that was definitely secular. It was of this world for sure. But God had told me in 2019 that I needed to start dismantling that. And I didn't understand, and not just dismantle that, but he started to dismantle, like literally, he reshuffled the deck of players in my life.
Right.
100%. And so like everything about my business partners, like everything about the business had to be dismantled. And I didn't 100% understand. I just knew that I thought initially, I just thought to myself, maybe there's something on the administrative end that wasn't straight. Like, you know what I mean? Like the foundation was off or something. And that's why you're trying to protect me from something. So like, and it was not till later on that I realized that no, it's because he wanted me to do this on my own and go down this direction. And I couldn't go with anyone.
Those who were with you before, right?
And like, I love them dearly, but they couldn't come.
Yeah.
You know what I
the
mean?
journey's different.
100%. So sorry, what was the question? Was it about the,
No, I was saying, so tell us about your awakening.
Oh, so the awakening. So the awakening was this gradual process of come to me. I was going through a lot. Like I was married. I was going through a divorce.
Okay.
I had
in 2019.
Okay. And 2 years prior to that, I had just had a baby. The company that I worked for before I started my own business had closed. That's where I honed most of my skills. So like I was like there for 18 years prior to. Right. And so it was a lot. It was a lot of changing. A lot of changes were happening. And I'm so sorry about that. A lot of changes was happening and I was lost. And so he just was gradually like, okay, Nicole, let me talk to you.
Right.
So I'm like, do you want to pause that?
No.
Okay. It's not going to stop.
Yeah.
Okay. And so anyway, gradually, he was like, come to me. And so he was like, that thing that's on your bedside. table.
Yeah.
The thing that you just never pick up or look at. Yeah, pick it up. So I was like,
and open it up.
So you never picked up a Bible prior?
You know what? I picked up many Bibles. I went to church with my Bible, but honey, I ain't gonna lie to you.
Right.
I wasn't really reading that thing.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? I wasn't reading
Yeah.
it like that. And so, I knew some scriptures, but
But not all.
But I wasn't invested in it like that. So I started picking up my Bible and started reading it because I also was lost, I think, because I started to go down this path of this new age kind of like, I was into horoscopes and you know what I mean?
Does that clash with the Bible though?
100% it clashes with the Bible.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, fortune telling.
And that's what. Okay. And that's why he was like, yeah. You want to know what's going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen.
Right.
You going to Satan to tell you the truth? You asking Satan to tell you the truth? Okay.
Thanks. Not a lot of people want to hear that.
Exactly. Okay, Nicole. So I was like, all right. So started picking up my Bible and started reading it more. And the more that I read, the closer I was getting to him. And yeah, that was kind of how the awakening started. And it's just been a journey ever since. I haven't, you know what I mean? I don't think that like I'm super Christian. I'm not the, the spokesperson or whatever.
There's levels to this.
Yeah, exactly.
There's Christian and there's super Christian.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not the one that like knows every single Bible verse or whatever, but like I'm on my way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And and I had to pray for a lot of forgiveness for a lot of the things that I was doing. I went about things backwards a lot. Right. But that's what happens when you're in the world like that, a part of Satan's community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're in there like that, then he's going to confuse you.
So during the awakening, right? And you're still doing the business of matchmaking.
Yes.
Are the wheels starting to turn at that point, as far as your career wise, or was until like a little bit later where you start to?
It was later. It was like 2020, the end of 2021, I would say.
Right.
So prior to that, again, I was just thinking that like, oh, I need to dismantle this because something is off. And also, I think because I also wasn't feeling it like I knew I should have been feeling it.
Right.
And I didn't understand what, excuse me, at that point, I had been doing matchmaking for so long, right?
Yeah.
And I just wasn't feeling it like that. And I couldn't understand why. So I was like, so then, I myself was starting to like tinkle with things like, okay, I'm going to adjust it this way. Let me do this way. We're not going to accept this anymore. We'll do this now. Or, initially when I even started the Love Listeners,
right,
I had done that with the idea of I was going to do kind of like what I'm doing now, without, of course, the Christian element to it, where it was a step before matchmaking.
Okay.
Right? Because I strongly believe, and not only do I believe it, I know it to be true because I've been doing this for a long time, to let you know that there is a step that needs to happen before you go into matchmaking.
Right.
Right? Because a lot of people think they're ready and they're not ready. You know what I mean? You have to be ready for what it is you're asking for. Right? And so I wanted to help prepare people because I used to work for a huge corporation. I call it the machine.
So I don't mean to get like, when you say say steps prior to matchmaking, just a few, like, so we have
I'll
some
give you
sort
the
of
one,
idea.
the most important one.
Okay.
Know yourself.
In today's time, that's very, very.
Do you know how many people
hard.
think they know themselves and they don't know themselves? And your results show you that you don't know yourself. Okay.
Right.
And listen, I'm not even coming to you from a high horse. You know what I'm saying? It's through failure.
Right.
That even in my personal journey, you know what I mean? Of understanding that, you have to know yourself.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know themselves. And they're getting out there and then they come to me, they throw all this money at me like, okay, now fix it. It's like, I can match you with someone and it's going to fall apart.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're not ready for what you're asking for.
More the foundation work than I guess within the person.
100%.
I think a lot of people and stuff that I've been seeing and stuff come across and stuff too. I think the foundation of themselves or their current self,
it's
not there. So then a lot of things they might ask for might be more conceived as wants than needs.
100%.
Right?
A lot of people conflate their wants with their needs. But that comes again from not knowing yourself, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Look, we've all been victim of that at some point.
Of
But
course.
at some
Yeah,
point,
yeah.
you have to wake up to that the results are showing you that your way is not working.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you have to do something different.
Some people are in denial, like they're swimming in Africa.
100%.
Serious denial.
And it's hard. You know what I mean? Like, I have compassion for those people up until a certain point. Because at some point, now you hurting yourself on purpose.
I was about
And
to
I
say,
can't, what can I do for you if you want to hurt yourself?
Yeah, what's the accountability in that, whatever, right?
None.
Yeah.
And that's a big, massive key is accountability. And that's what you'll learn when you get to know yourself, right?
Mhm.
Right.
So
yeah.
there's a program that I have, a workbook that I created for people to help people with that. And it's called PICO.
Okay.
It's called Personal Code of Ethics. And essentially what it is just helping people learn themselves before you go out into the dating world,
Mhm.
right? Because again, you're conflating your wants with your needs. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
He doesn't need to be 6'3". Why he need to be 6'3"?
I mean,
Do you know what I'm saying?
does his income need to be
She doesn't
100K?
have to have a BBL.
Does his income have to be 100K?
He doesn't know his income. Of course, his income does not have to be 100K.
I mean,
Like, it depends on, I think it also depends on your life, but can you fall in love with someone that makes 75K? That's always my question. It's like, you can't, like, you're literally, your heart won't allow you to fall in love with someone that makes 75. Of course it would. You've made this blockade for yourself.
So, okay, who's to blame for that? Like, we got to play the blame game because we're talking about
I take everything back to Satan, child. It's the devil. I'm sorry. It's the devil, child. Like, it's society. Right? Society has taught us for a very long time.
But the part is the individual, like the individuality and stuff of the people, right? It's like, where's the accountability? Like, I want to say, society made me do this? No, I made the choice.
100%. Based on what they thought.
Saw.
Yeah.
Or they thought and they knew.
Yeah, right? Because what they're picking up on is what is being shown all the time, right? It's showing you like, the pretty girl with the, millionaire man, but they're not giving you the backstory. You're sure you think that you want that.
Yeah.
But you don't know what it takes to be that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's also a lot of the time it's not all that it's cracked up to be.
I always so for me, I looked at this stuff as where I feel like it's more women that have this issue, but I feel like a lot of the women who have the wisdom don't share it with the young ones. So the young ones assume that everything is a bed of roses and it's supposed to be instant gratification that's supposed to just pop off. But the older ones aren't teaching the younger ones like, there's steps to this till you get to this queen shit.
Right.
100%. 100% that. There is steps to this. And it is the instant gratification that everyone is suffering from right now. The instant gratification got y'all in a chokehold and you got to tap out. Literally. Because anything that is worth something is going to take time. You need to invest in it.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you get your payout. If you are looking for your payout yesterday, I mean, it's possible because Satan blesses people all the time. Y'all miss that. Satan blesses people as well. Okay.
I hear Diddy in my back. Take that.
You hear Diddy? No Diddy, no doubt.
Take that.
Okay. He really does. God blesses, and so does Satan. And so you'll know that it's not from the kingdom of God based on how it makes you feel. That's why you see the, what's her name? Megan Thee Stallion. I think it was like last summer or something like that. She was, or when was it that whenever the case was ending with her and Tory? Yeah.
Okay.
And she was saying that like she was suicidal. Like she just wanted to, she was like, yeah, like, y'all don't understand. Like, no, I know, because you got your blessings from Satan. Whenever you get your blessings from Satan, it's going to come with a massive burden. It's going to come with a massive burden.
Right. It's a price to pay. You don't think there's no price to pay, but there's a price to pay.
There's a massive price to pay. And it's never worth it in the end. So yes, you have all of these riches. You might have all of this fame. You might have everything that you want instantly. But it's not worth it. You're not going to want it in the end. You'll be begging to get rid of it.
Right.
You know
I
what
feel
mean?
like a lot of people and stuff who might be in those situations,
Yeah.
they might be in a moment where they feel like they don't have a choice. Like we spoke about that and stuff before in the previous episode.
Yeah.
Like, does everybody have a choice? And a lot of
Yeah.
people feel like, no, but there's steps before that level when you feel like you didn't have a choice
Yeah.
for you to make the proper choice. And since you didn't make the proper choice, now you got to
It's like a domino effect.
Exactly.
Right.
Now you're at this point where you're like, oh, I have no other choice. I'm going to choose integrity over money. And then they'll walk away from it. Or they'll be like, they'll swan dive into the money, lose their integrity.
100%.
And then they're like, how did I get here? Now the suicidal thoughts and all the other bad karma that might come with it.
And now you don't want it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Everything you thought it was is not that.
You
have all this money.
You have money to buy therapists.
I know, but here's the thing. That don't you notice that with rich people? When people are massively rich, what they say is
money isn't everything.
Money isn't everything. They'll always tell you that.
Same
You want to know
slogan.
why? Because I think there's a difference. I feel like there's people that want to be rich.
Mhm.
That's like the Diddy's of the world. They want to be rich, right?
Okay.
And then there's people that want to be wealthy. And when I think of wealth, I think of health immediately. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, I feel like that's why they rhyme. Like health and wealth. If you want to be wealthy, that's a good thing. That's literally the kingdom of God. He wants you to be wealthy. He wants you to be, you know what I mean? But when you're seeking money,
past that,
you're just seeking money because wealth is not just money.
Right.
Wealth is a ton of things that's going to go with that. It's going to come with the integrity. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's going to come with health and care for yourself and others. Do you know what I'm saying? That's wealthy. And then of course, then you're going to get, then there's some money behind that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But no, there's lots of people that just want to be rich. And I don't know. I feel like that's also probably why God probably called, because he knows I can't be bought.
Nice.
So that's why he called me into this kingdom as well, because wherever he's taking me, I don't know, but wherever he's taking me, I know that I'm on a path of wealth and not riches.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Good for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you find your purpose?
Through trial and error, really, through failure, through dismantling my business, through going through divorce, through having a child. Man, all of those things helped bring me to where I'm at now. It was not until like he did really sit me down and be like, daughter, another thing was that I also had this thing where I used to suffer from imposter syndrome. Right? So like,
haven't we all?
Oh my gosh. When I tell you I couldn't even do an interview, I could not have done this like 5 years ago.
Oh,
really?
I would have not wanted to do it. I'd be like, no, I can't do it. Oh no, take the camera off me.
Right.
You know what I mean? I would have not wanted to do it. Even with the company that I had prior to this one, I had a business partner who was more the voice, right?
Right.
So I could just interject every once in a while, say something cute, and then sit back. You know what I mean?
Right,
I wasn't, you know what I mean? I wasn't the center.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had to cure me of that. Because he's like, where I'm taking you, you're going to need to be talking to people.
Right.
And you need to, because people used to affirm me all the time. When I tell you that people would be like, you're so great at that, or you're so good at this, or blah, blah, blah. And I always used to be like, oh, that's cute. But because I didn't believe it for myself.
Right.
It's just a bunch of beautiful words put together to make a beautiful sentence. It would go through one ear and out the other. It's like, oh, thank you. But, if you don't really believe that for yourself, then it doesn't matter how many people affirm me. So God had to bring me to a point where I was believing it for myself.
And this all happened during 2019.
To now. I didn't even learn about the imposter syndrome until 2022. I didn't even know about that until 2022, until he brought that to me. He was like, I kept hearing it. And how I know he wants to talk to me about something is because he'll keep bringing it to my attention.
Right.
And I was like,
you got to be obedient.
I was like, who, me? Yeah. No, it's not that I have imposter. I don't feel like I'm an imposter. I just feel like I don't want to talk to people.
Right.
Yeah. But he was like, no, it's imposter syndrome, girl. Stop that. So I had to. So yeah. So he dealt with me on that. And so, now I can have these conversations. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And not feel uncomfortable and not feel like, oh, I don't want the camera on me or don't listen to me talk. Even though more times than not, people are always like, we want to hear from you.
Yeah.
Right. And I was always like, when people would say that to me, I'd be like, what do you mean? Like, no, you don't.
Well,
I'm going to stumble on my words or I'm going to like.
You're the business. You're
100%.
the walking business,
But
right?
that's why he had to get me here. It's like to a point where I could feel confident to do it. You know what I'm saying? And not feel like I needed somebody else, not feel like I needed an Aaron, you know? Because I don't know if you know the story of the Bible where when God was telling Moses that I'm going to send you to go talk to Pharaoh, and this is what you're going to do. Moses was like, who, me? No, like I stutter. I stumble. I know I can't. I know you can't use I'm not me. And God was like, Moses, for real. And then, so he gave him his brother Aaron. He was like, well, Aaron's more charismatic. So we'll let Aaron be the mouthpiece, but he has to do what you say. It's still going to come through you. Right. So I was like, at one point I was praying for an Aaron. I was like, dear Lord God,
send me an Aaron.
Send me an Aaron. And he was like, nope, no Aaron, girl. Just
you got to do this on your own.
Just you, girl. So yeah, I had to get comfortable with it. And yeah, here we are.
So from your business, right, from matchmaking,
Yeah.
do you have beef with online dating? Because like I said, like Christian mingle and stuff is out there to I want to say separate the Christian world from the secular world.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you like it
sort of.
How good of a job do they do?
Right? I've heard horror stories about Christian mingles that there ain't not very many Christians on Christian mingle. They send in all kinds of nudes on Christian mingle.
Dick pics on
100% on Christian mingle.
On Christian, really?
Yes, I've heard the stories.
Christian mingle uncut.
Exactly.
Yo, this is
Christian mingle after dark.
Yo.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So
wow.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
so I don't have beef with online though. I think online dating is a viable option for you. The only problem is that you're out there not knowing yourself, right? So you're actually causing more harm than you are good.
Still goes back to having to know yourself
100%. And that's why people are frustrated with online, because people behave poorly on there because they don't know themselves. They don't even respect themselves.
Right.
Right? And so then you're going to get out there and act a fool.
Yeah.
And then now you've turned off a bunch of people.
I mean, because I tried online dating, right?
Yeah.
And online dating for me, I felt like I couldn't look up. Like, now one of my boys, he actually found his wife from the Tinder.
Yeah.
So I was looking like...
From Tinder?
From Tinder. Yeah. Right. And everybody was telling me Tinder as like a hookup spot. And
it's known for that.
I'm like, he found love in a hopeless place. Shout out to Riri. So I was looking, so I was like... Well, let me see if I, if the pool is over there,
luck will rub off on you too.
See it's over there and stuff, whatever, right? But then, you meet some characters.
You meet some characters.
You meet some characters.
Pee in the pool?
Huh? Oh, it's more like an R. Kelly photo shoot.
Oh.
In the pool.
Wow. Wow.
So the urine is nonstop going in.
Wow.
You know, a little statue, but little statue. Yeah, the statue, little angel, the little cherub. Peeing in it?
Yeah. Okay, so can I ask y'all a question? Well, not you, because I know you're married. You're not married.
No.
Okay. So can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So when you were on Christian Mingle...
Well, I wasn't on Christian Mingle.
I'm not Christian Mingle. Sorry. Tinder.
I don't play on my guy.
Right? Exactly. You wouldn't do that to him.
No.
So when you were on Tinder,
Bumble, and Hinge.
What was your experience with the women?
I felt like because everything's superficial, so it's aesthetic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think like with the aesthetic, I would win.
Yeah.
Right? But I think like most of them can't hold a conversation without a cell phone. Right? Because I think...
How are you feeling about the women though?
Like what, like the... Like
how do you feel like they behaved, how they carried themselves online?
I feel like a good portion of them and stuff, the ones that I seen, they did well. I seen the loose ones, like you out here and stuff, whatever, like bend over pics and stuff for them. Like, this is just your Tinder. I'm like, damn, not to mystery? Okay. We'll just swipe right just because it's just default.
Okay.
But then I look at it stuff as where most of the women and stuff that I came across, I want to say pretty much they were kind of, well, maybe because that's what I probably would look for. Maybe.
You know what? So the reason why I asked that is because a lot of what people will say, like going back to what you were just saying, pee in the pool.
Right.
The reality is there's only pee in the pool because you don't know yourself. 75, I would say. And again, let me say this. So anytime I give a stat, I'm giving a stat based on my experiences with the people I've matched almost 500,000 people at this point.
Nice.
Okay.
Wow.
I've matched 100 people a day, and I'm talking 2 individuals. Okay, so
Mhm.
that's 200 people. Then, if you want to say that, because I'm talking about the matches.
Right.
So 100 matches a day for like 18 years.
Mm.
Okay, so I'm coming off of my experience with singles and couples.
Mhm.
Okay, so I have found that at least 75% of the women and men online
Mhm.
are decent.
Yeah.
They actually are decent, right? It's just that they get lumped in with that 25% that are nuts,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
That's I
And
agree.
so so they feel like it's hopeless, but it works. It still does work. It's
So-
still a viable.
So
option.
okay. I want to say,
Mhm.
especially for me, when I started dating again in 2019,
Mhm.
but let's say in the like during the pandemic, right?
Yes. Mhm.
It got kind of different because now COVID happened.
Yep.
So I went, okay, I work in the hospital.
Okay.
I'm nonstop.
Yes.
So now I come in and then I match with somebody, let's say the day before.
Mhm.
We agreed that we would have a FaceTime first date.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I just wore what I wore to work and everything like that. And then she's like, it was scheduled for like the 5 p.m. So I was like, all right.
Okay.
I get home like 4:40.
It's like, okay,
Right.
So I was
right.
like,
Yeah.
I was like, only thing
That's
I did
not a
is
good time, but anyway.
yeah, all I did is was like basically just like, no, I got in. I was like, let me have a beer
Yes.
to kind of unwind from this pandemic day.
Exactly.
And then I started to FaceTime. She said, oh, you already poured yourself a drink. Oh, I got a bottle of wine here myself. So I was like, what's going on? Like, maybe I'm not taking this too deep, or maybe she took it way too deep.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. She's like, how was your day? So I, told her my day and everything like that. She's like, okay, everything's cool. Everything's nice and stuff, whatever. She's like, I have a few questions to ask to see if you might be the one. I was like,
whoa, no pressure.
I was like, that's what I said to her. I was like, are we trying to make a diamond like tomorrow? Because this is a lot of pressure.
Right.
She started laughing. She's like, well, you have character, you have charisma because you can crack jokes on like. And
Okay,
so I was like,
check.
yeah. So she's like, I was like, okay. So my phone was getting hot. She's like, is there someone else there with you? I was like, no, we've been FaceTiming for probably like a few. My phone just gets hot, whatever, right? And this is my older iPhone. So I was like, it felt like it came on like super strong. Her intentions and stuff was there because she was asking questions. I was like, that's dope. So she's like, she's been single for her. I don't want to put her business out there, but she's been single for like 2 years before that point.
Right.
And she's like, going into before the pandemic, she was looking at nothing in serious and stuff, whatever. She's like, she'll meet somebody when she meets somebody, but she said during the loneliness of the pandemic, I guess it's kind of like hunger will make you eat anything, and loneliness might make you say yes to a lot of things. So she said she's had a few yeses that she should have said no for.
Yeah.
Right.
So she's like, no, this is the regimen she's gonna go with. This is how she's gonna investigate who I am. But I was like, this is a lot because I just came from work. So
it's not. Yeah.
Should have scheduled it for
God
8.
bless her heart.
Maybe 8 p.m.
8 p.m. would have been a little bit.
8 p.m. would have been better.
looser.
Just not right after work. That's not. That's not.
Like I need to decompress.
100%.
Much as during the
100%.
pandemic. Yeah.
100%. You need to decompress. Did she want to have kids, or did she already have kids? That's also,
no, she wanted to have kids.
That's also
whatever.
probably why
she was in
the pressure was on.
The clock.
So I'm telling you, that's what goes back to what Satan was doing. I'm gonna blame Satan for everything. Literally,
where's gonna be the accountability?
No, but 100%. You're gonna learn from it though. You have to see your role in it. But I think what happened was in this matriarchy, let's just call this what it is, because everyone's like, oh, we have to kill the patriarchy. What patriarchy? We are not living in a patriarchy right now. This is 100% a matriarchy. And that's the devil's work.
Yeah. It's been matriarch for a while.
God wanted
it's been matriarch for forever.
It's been matriarch for a while.
100%. And this is what's happening. These girls, these ladies, right? They are focused on their education. And like, because, society tells you now that a lady, don't worry about having kids. Don't worry about, getting married. Just break the glass ceiling. Right? And what happens with those women when you want to break the glass ceiling, you have to step into your masculine. Right. And you become a very masculine woman, the alpha female.
Now, my question to you before you go on and stuff is that I feel like a lot of the rhetoric that we hear today
Yeah.
is kind of like men made women step up their masculine. Do you agree with that? Because the same thing you're saying is that like if I'm a woman, and my parents are telling me be all you can be, you know, go be the top, go from lawyer to judge to be Supreme Court and everything. I'm breaking ceilings on the way. What does that have to do with a man?
Nothing.
Okay.
Has nothing to do with a man.
Okay.
And here's what happened. Here's where I will say that they got the men, right? Is that men start to buy into the matriarchy. There's a lot of men that start to buy in, like, believe women, believe all women. Like, that's crazy.
Believe all women.
You never heard that?
I mean,
believe women.
I've heard it, but it sounds so much better coming from a woman saying it.
It sounds like I don't have to feel the heat or the static.
If we said it, it'd have been locker room talk or like, these guys are mansplaining.
No, but go ahead, speak your mind.
As you were. Go ahead, Queen. The microphone is right there for you.
The floor is yours.
So what happened is, right, you can't just believe, there's some women, just like there are some men, but we're talking about women right now, that are absolutely diabolical. Okay, and so you can't just be out here talking about believe all women, especially a woman that is living in her masculine. Do you know what it takes? Even like, I'll even use myself in business. I have to be, when I have to put my big girl pants on, I have to put my big girl pants on. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, nah, we're not doing that. No, I'm not doing that. Like, you know what I mean? No, we can't do it. And I have to step into more of a masculine role than the submissive feminine role, right? So if you're doing this, if you are like, you know, an entrepreneur, you're a female, you're an entrepreneur, you know, you have your doctorate, or you got your master's or whatever, you have all of this behind your name, it makes you feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like you have on the pants, you end up being something that most men don't want. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You are now, you know, a woman that is overly masculine, she can be diabolical because she has to live in what she's perceiving as a man's world. But in actuality, she is up against other women just like her, and they are diabolical.
Right.
And so now she is thinking, you'll hear them say all the time, like, oh, men are so aggressive and they're holding, no, these ladies are mad aggressive these days. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then men are signing off on it.
Right. And because I was going to say, even when you were saying that, I was even thinking to myself, you know, there's actually some women who are like that, but know when and how to turn it off.
100%. I would count myself as one of them.
Right. Know when and how to turn it off.
100%.
Turn off the diabolical powers?
Turn off the masculine
energy that creates the diabolical powers.
That creates it.
Yeah, because I get it. In a business world, in a business setting, you're gonna need it, right?
100%.
Right.
Well, because you want to, I'm assuming you want at least the work front to be equal playing ground and stuff.
Sure,
whatever.
exactly.
And then at home, I guess you have to know, like, all right, this is not, this is now.
You need to know when to take off your pants.
I'm not competing.
You need to know when to take off your pants. Right. Ladies, when you get home, you have to take off your pants. You got to put your skirt back on, right? You can't.
And the bra to relax.
100%.
No, you might want to take off the bra to relax. I
hear women say, you have to get back to being, you have to get back to your submissive feminine ways.
Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, especially coming from a Christian world now. What does the S word mean to you? Because we get
the S word is not that. I don't know why it's scary. You know what? Let me take that back. I understand why it's scary. It's scary because now if we're gonna talk about some men now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
No.
And here's the reality: because a lot of these men have bought into the matriarchy.
Okay.
They are very passive aggressive even. Do you know what I'm saying? And they're not stepping up like they should be because they're afraid. Right? It's like, what if she says this about me and then I'm done?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because I know that if I, say something back, she can call the police and then I'm going to go to jail.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's all of these things.
I guess I must be passive. Submissive.
Because I don't want to go to jail.
Well, I don't want to catch no charge.
Well, you can also.
I'm
There's
trying to build my brand.
there's also
Yo.
a really good way out of that, and that is to pick the right woman.
How are you gonna pick the right? Let me tell you something. Okay, I've been married too.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And in a workout
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
And I thought I picked the right woman and stuff with her from that time and stuff.
Hey, look.
Right.
Oh,
But I learned, I've understood like what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
For myself, I want to say embodiment and testament for you got to know yourself.
100%.
I learned myself to a degree where the world seems so much easier for me now.
100%.
And before I thought
That
the
is
world
the
was
truth.
easier, but I was like, I would have to like go get things.
Mhm.
Now things just gravitate towards me and stuff whatever, without even me lifting a finger or thumb.
Mhm.
Like, so I've learned about myself now.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to me picking a partner now,
Yeah.
it's way different from
How it
before.
was used to
Right.
be. Yeah.
Right? But then again, it's like to get back into the fray or back into the R. Kelly pool plan, I'm looking at stuff and like, not enough dye is in this damn pool. So now I'm just saying hello to everything until I'm hearing a conversation.
Exactly.
See, because aesthetics can get you oh so far.
100%.
Then when I'm having a conversation and stuff now, I'm asking questions and stuff like even the podcast convo.
Yeah.
It's more character and morals and
Driven.
principle kind of driven
Mhm.
kind of convo.
Mhm.
And, you know, the ass is always going to show that it's an ass
100%.
in front of
But
real
it's
horses.
deeper than that, right?
Mhm.
Exactly. So no, I get what you're saying is that in that, like, yeah, you are now looking for the right person, because I think a lot of men are told to look for the good woman.
Yeah.
Right? But I think there's a difference between the good woman and the right woman.
Talk
The
about
good
it.
woman,
Mhm.
she's good. She's good to you. She's going to, enable you. She's going to allow you to be whoever you are.
Mm.
Whatever it is you got going on, she's going to be there for you. You could cheat on her. She's going to take you back. She's, you might slap her around, but she knows you love her. She's a good woman. She's not going to call the police on you.
So that's why there's so many good women out here.
She's never going to call the police.
Market.
And a lot of women tote themselves as the good women, but and not
exactly.
bad.
That title is brandished a lot. I'm a
100%.
good woman. Why is this happening to me?
Listen, and there's nothing. Listen, and also let me be clear. There's nothing wrong with a good woman, right?
Mhm.
Ideally, you'd still want to be a good woman versus a bad woman. You just might not be the right woman for somebody, and that's
Right.
what you need to understand, right? Especially men when they're picking. How you know that you've met the right woman is that there is change that happens in you, and it's not because she's asking you to. It's because you are inspired to. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
you change because of her, not for her.
Right.
That's how you know whatever you used to do. Like, maybe you were a serial cheater before. And now you're like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that to her. Because like there's something about her, you know what I'm saying? That makes you want to be a better man.
I heard
That's the right woman.
I heard this, and I've been kind of using it as a marker and stuff whatever,
Mhm.
for the past like 2 to 3 years. What they were saying and stuff is, I heard it from a guy. He was saying that if you're with a woman and you don't think about like, especially much as the digital age we live in, you don't get caught up with the fodder and you keep focused and stuff on this woman, or like everything is just giving you a feeling towards this woman.
Yeah.
That might be lead you in direction to the right woman, because if you're still distracted by the fodder
100%.
out there,
100%.
then this might not be the right woman for you.
Right. Exactly.
So I kind of looked at it and stuff as like that, because I remember, and I started thinking about like my younger relationships when I was younger.
Mhm.
I was looking at stuff, I was like, oh, okay, I would probably still be with this woman or see this woman, and then probably still think about another woman, or think about like if Beyonce's a dime piece or something like that, whatever, right? And then like I'm at a point now, whatever, is like they're like trees in nature. Like I don't see them.
100%.
Right. Yeah.
Because you're looking for more than that at this stage. And that comes with age too,
Yeah.
As we mature, our tastes change. You know what I mean? And we don't want the wildlife like that anymore.
Do you believe people have a
Especially
type?
men.
Yeah.
I think, do people have a type?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people's type is their biggest problem.
What
know
do
what
you
I'm
mean by that, Nicole? You can't just jog past that like you ain't
Fill us in on that one.
Yeah. You try to
No, because you are, again, a type could be the good woman, or the good man
Right.
that
Mhm.
you don't respect. men need respect and women need love.
Oh.
Women show their love for their man. So ladies, let me tell you something. How you're going to show your love to your man is not going to be about saying I love you to him all the time, because men don't, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, because I do these focus groups, and through my focus groups, this is what I've learned. That men don't perceive love through love, like I love you. They perceive love through respect.
Yeah.
So if you are showing him respect, then he's going to receive your love as love, right? And for women, we do need the emotional attachment of you sharing with us that you love us, and then also your actions showing us that you love us as well, right? Where for y'all, you guys never seem to get attached to I love you like that. You're more attached to I respect you.
I think it's that I respect you, and I guess like the feature of that, like I can be off. Because I feel like, and I was saying to Smooth this a few episodes back, whatever, like I feel like men don't have a time to be off. Like I feel like we always have to be present. Like let's say, for example, when it comes to a woman, we know like, you know, by nature, you might have that week, your monthly. So you're okay not to be you.
Yeah.
Anything you do erratic or doesn't make sense, you're okay for that.
Yeah.
We always have to be constantly on.
Right.
So I feel like now if you're off around, because like I had a moment where I was talking to a friend and stuff, and I was like, if you're with a woman and stuff, how long would it take for you to cry in front of her? Whatever, right? So one of my boys said to me, he's like, probably like 5 years in a relationship. So I was like, damn. And I was like, me, in my head, I was going for like 2.5 and stuff, and they're like pushing the 3 and stuff, whatever. But I was like, so I told him one time I was with a woman and I had a moment and stuff. It was kind of sooner that he's like, she's not going to respect you, dog. And that's the thing. The key thing is respect.
Right, yeah.
So when it came to that, when I was like, yeah, I don't know if I could be with somebody after they lost their respect for me. We had a question and stuff on the show, on an earlier show, is that like if you lost a fight, like a physical fight in front of your woman, what do you do? Mr. Married Man over there said, oh, I'll just go home and just tell my wife. I'm like, I'm going to pack up my shit because there's going to be an argument going to pop off. Be like, oh, you want to come argue with me, but not the guy that whipped your ass and stuff in front of me? The respect is gone.
100%. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. And, you know, we're going to keep it 100, right? We're going to be completely transparent here. The truth of the matter is there is some truth to that. There is some truth to the fact that if you are a man that is a crybaby, okay, because I think you're referring to having a moment or two. Maybe you're going to have several moments, especially in the span of a relationship, right? If you're with the right woman, you'll feel confident. He's an example. You'll feel confident to be like, yeah, I got my, well, but my wife, like, I'm gonna get home and my wife gonna take care of me. You know what I mean? And you could have moments, emotional moments in front of her and not worry about it. However, if you are a man that is a bit of a crybaby, because what you'll hear women say, you'll hear women say this all the time, where they'll be like, oh, no, I want my man to cry in front of me. Like, I can handle it. Like, no, it's fine. Like, no, you should show your emotions more. You should Honey, stop. Because the reality is, if he becomes a crybaby, you're going to be like, this nigga's crying again.
You're a bitch.
Like, what is wrong with him? Like,
look at this bitch.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, seriously?
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, are you, like, serious? Like, if he's always having a moment, you know what I'm saying? Right. So, yeah, the truth of the matter is, is it fair? No. It isn't fair, but that's life. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all had our punishment the day during Applegate. You know what I mean? When Eve and Adam ate the apple. You know what I mean? Yeah. We all got punishment for that. And your punishment was that it was good. It was gonna be hard work for y'all. Yeah. Nothing was gonna, and then you were gonna have to deal with the lady. And you're gonna have to get her to respect you. And that was gonna be work. Do you know what I'm saying? And she was going to have Satan at her heels. So can you imagine?
You don't get her to respect you after she listened to that snake.
Exactly. But that's the punishment, isn't it?
What man does not want to eat fruit from a naked woman?
That's part of y'all problem. That's part of y'all problem.
Yes, it is.
Right?
First step is admitting.
That's part. You got to figure that part out. Exactly. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah. I feel, though, if you are a man that's suffering from something or something like that, then yeah, you're going to be one of those people that at some point your lady is going to be like, You can't cry. Like, I know Andrew can't come home and cry every day.
Mm.
Because as sweet as his wife is, I'm sure at some point he'd be like, okay, because I don't.
You need to talk to someone.
Like,
I mean,
you need a therapist or something.
Yeah,
Because it, like,
therapy.
you know what I mean?
Like, yo, if
You know
you're
what I mean?
shedding
You can't, and that's you're gonna have to. You have to deal with some
I just
stuff,
think
right?
I don't think that's fair to even your partner though, whatever. Because I look at it stuff as where it's kind of like you don't got your shit together, so now they have to help shoulder some of your burden or your weight. Now, and that's gonna put a strain on your relationship and stuff, and just in general. So I look at this stuff as going back to what you're saying in the beginning.
But that's a part of a relationship, right? That's the part where I'm always telling people that relationships take work. Hard work, though, because I can't stand to hear people like relationships are hard work. No, hard work is situational. Do you know what I'm saying? If you are steady doing the work of a relationship, then when the hard work comes, you'll be better prepared to deal with it. Do you know what I'm saying? And sometimes the hard work can last a long time. Like sometimes the hard work can be a good 2 years of hard work. You know what I mean? Where you guys are going through something. You know what I mean? It could be financial. It could be health-wise. It could be, you know what I'm saying? That's going to cause a lot of friction in your relationship. Maybe something's happening, like, you know, whatever it is. Right? So that's going to cause some friction, and that's going to be harder work for you to deal with. But overall, your relationship shouldn't be hard work. It should be work. And if you stay steady doing the work, then situational times, you'll be able to deal with them. She won't be like, he's a crybaby. You know what I mean?
Right.
It'll be like, we're going through something. You know what I mean? And it'll be looked at that way. And then vice versa too, right? Because same thing with men. Like, you don't want to be with a woman who's always crying too, because y'all aren't really attached to that like that. To the crying thing about everything. You know what I mean? Like, she's being emotional again. Like, she's going overboard again. You know what I mean? So it's like, men don't want that either, right? So it's kind of that you have to find the balance, but in the right relationship, you will find the balance.
In your world, do you have more men coming to you for matchmaking or more women coming to you?
Definitely women. The numbers are always more women than men.
Why do you think that happens?
Because I think that good men, like the right man, he gets scooped up easily. He'll find what he's looking for, and he's off the market. Right? It's the playboys that keep the party going. You know what I'm saying? Like the playboys
makes sense.
They're out here, they're outside.
I mean, if you're in a Playboy mansion,
they're gonna keep the party going.
Without them, they wouldn't be going.
100%. And then there's always more. There's more women just in general, right? So there's gonna be, and more women are open to, dating and like finding. They're more serious about it in a sense, if that makes sense. Like they're more interested in doing something about it. Where there's men out here that they don't want to be alone, but they'll be like, I will be.
You think men? You think?
100%. They'll be like, I'm not dealing with none of that. There's a whole community of men called
incels.
Them too, but right before the incels, there's this group. They're called MGTOW. MGTOW, men going their own way. Could you imagine? Yeah, men going their own way.
This is the
which
first
means,
time, man.
Yeah. They're not dealing with they'll have sex with women. Yeah. But as far as relationships, they're not doing that.
So I know a guy and stuff, whatever, where his thing and stuff is where he keeps it a buck. He's like, it's strictly like, ladies of the night, 100%. Professionals and stuff that he would pay for because he said, he refused. Now he said, I guess because he's an older gentleman now. So I want to say he's like almost 60.
Okay.
But I want to say he said that in his 40s when he realized that, like, he has his kids and the marriage and stuff didn't work out. He said he was off it.
Right.
And he said he would never go back to marriage. So he's like, if he gets his rocks off,
that's what it is.
He's good with that and stuff. Yeah. Right?
That's what it is.
But I can see it at that age after marriage. You're saying there's like men in like 20s that are
and they're being indoctrinated into this thing of don't get married. Women are awful. They're gonna like ruin your life.
But I've heard those stories before. I got married and stuff before
they
too.
Don't want to take any accountability for listen, this is my theory. If there's one of two things that happened. See, because I speak to a lot of men that have been divorced and they're bitter, right? They're very, very bitter. Not all,
better.
but there's a
not better.
Not better.
not
I'm
better.
better.
They're not better. They're definitely bitter. And they are very frustrated with the whole marriage process, divorce process.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Meaning like the legal system of it, right? And they refuse to take any accountability for, does the legal aspect of it need to be adjusted? I think it does. Like I would agree with you on that. I agree with them on that there's some old things that just they need to be adjusted. However, you got to the courthouse for a reason.
Going back to what you said earlier, there's the decisions that you make. If you don't make the right decisions at the beginning,
you're screwed.
You're making up the hard ones at the end.
Then you seem like you don't have a choice. So
what happens is that two things are going to happen. Either you met her that way, she was nuts, but she had a big booty and a smile, and she made you look good, so you went with it.
Right.
Okay, she had some charming things about her, so you thought it was going to be all right. Okay, so you went with it. Or she was perfectly normal, she was fine, everything was good, and then you started to do horrible things to her along the way. You weren't paying attention because there's every time I hear a man say she just all of a sudden, it's never all of a sudden.
No,
there's always a gradual. You're not paying attention. If you're paying attention to your woman, you'll see the changes. You'll hear her asking for this. I need that. Can you do this? Can we do that? Da, 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 da. She's gonna start to nag you about stuff,
right?
And you are just brushing it on the table, or you're just like, okay, yeah, we'll do that. We'll get to that, and then nothing ever comes of it. Eventually, she's going to stop, right? And now you're calling her crazy. You're in court telling the judge you need out because she's crazy, and I'm not paying her shit. Like what? Okay, so one of two things: you met her that way. That's on you.
True.
Okay, or B, you can't drop someone off in Crazyville and then be stunned that they become crazerian. She's been living in Crazyville. Like, what are you like? Yeah, now she's nuts. Yeah, now she's nuts. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Again, accountability.
Right.
Again, accountability on your part. You know what I mean? Of like, yeah. Because that's the only way you're going to learn and do better next time. Otherwise, you're going to make the same mistake over and over again. Yeah. And then you're going to be like one of these dudes that join these red pill communities talking about women are this and women are that and taking zero accountability for their role, for their part in it. Right? And then they stay steady on women don't take accountability. Yeah. You know what? A vast majority of women too need to take accountability. There's a lot of women that do not take accountability. Right? They're a mess. And they've never done anything to clean up their mess. And so, yes, they are correct. However, you too. Both parties need accountability.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
And that has to be established and stuff and understood by both individuals before they meet each other.
And this is why you need your PICO. Shameless plug. You need your PICO. You need to learn about yourself before you even put yourself out there to date somebody so that you're not going to ruin somebody's child.
No, I agree. Some people with stuff on this highway to love, they're not the unfit cars.
100%. It's literally the land of misfit toys. Do you know what I'm saying? There's an arm over here, there's a leg over there, there's a head over there. You know what I mean? You're trying to put these things together.
Right.
Put it together before you get out there. So that you have, because I also notice, here's what I noticed through my own research is that the people that had a PICO that were out there dating, because I always wondered why. So when I was at the machine, I always noticed that there was a group of people that they would find what they're looking for sooner than later. And then there was a group of people that, man, they had a hard time. It was very difficult for them. And they got bitter and frustrated and, you know, because they couldn't see their role in it. Right. So I realized I was trying to figure out the difference between the haves and the haves not. And the have not would get feedback like, you know, he was, all he did was talk about himself, or, you know, all she did was talk crap about her ex-boyfriend, or like, it was always like this negative conversation took place. Right. Versus the haves, it was always, even if it was a situation where it didn't end up going anywhere. It was always like, well, the feedback was like, well, you know what? She was lovely, or he was a great guy. It just not for me, but like, no, it was great. And they have an easier time because they know thyself.
That conversation is kind of rare though, especially in today's landscape. Like you don't hear that much when people say, I dated this person, we were together and stuff, and then it didn't work out, whatever it be. Like it was kind of say, amicable, but peaceful.
Yeah.
Right. It's more of a like, she was a problem, he was a problem.
But you could tell the difference. That's the haves nots, right? Mm-hmm. The haves, they'd be like, they date in peace because they're peaceful people. They know themselves, right? So they're dating, so they're like, there's the pressure is not there like that because they know what it is that they're looking for.
Got it.
You know what I mean? They know who they are and what they're looking for, and they know how to thrive in a relationship. So they're not trying to fit a triangle into a square peg. They're not trying to do that. It's like, I don't even need to do that. You're great. You'll find somebody. I just know you're not for me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. Should a person always try to find themselves first before 100%. Adding on to another person? Because codependency is a real ass thing.
It's dangerous.
And a lot of people want stuff, they just kind of will look for somebody instead of like working on themselves, right? Like I look at it stuff, you probably all know people that kind of relationship hop. Yeah. It's kind of like they get out of one, they jump into another and everything like that, but never really take the time to work on themselves and stuff. But some of those people who do relationship hop, they've had, I don't want to say long lasting, but they have long relationships.
Yeah, they can.
And a lot of people see that and say, this is what I want. I want somebody that's to ride with me for the next 20 plus 30 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, where would people...
How are you riding, though?
It don't seem like a soft and smooth ride.
You know what I mean? That's why I'm saying appearances, guys. Appearances, right? Mm-hmm. So you can see someone that you think, like, there's a lot of, like, these celebrity guru relationship coaches and stuff like that, right? They're in relationships. And so you think that everything is Gucci all the time, but a lot of them could be living in hell.
So, question. Mm-hmm. I'm going to put your business out there.
No.
You date?
So, I just recently got the green light.
Okay.
Because I don't do nothing without asking my pops, first and foremost.
No, because I was going to say, I was like, you're a matchmaker, but then you're divorced.
Yeah, 100%. Right.
So, that's how I was looking at.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. So, because I think that was also one of my... what do I call it? I guess one of my fears about going at this too is when I was getting a divorce, I was like I'm going to be a matchmaker that's divorced. Then God said to me, like, here's the thing. First and foremost, you have experience now, and you're going to take this experience and you're going to teach people with it. And this is why I say I am a teacher and a student. I learn what I teach and teach what I learn.
Nice. Right.
Okay. So I had to realize that I personally know that I would rather take advice from someone that's been there, done that, versus take advice from someone that's never done it at all,
right?
You know what I mean? So it's like, you have an idea. It's like before I became a mother, I always would tell people like what kind of mom I was going to be. I knew like I was going to, my kids.
And you never became a mother at that time, but you were talking.
I was, right. Babies cry. Like, why are you guys getting so annoyed that the baby's crying? Babies cry. Like, Or my friends, my girlfriends would like, their kids would be, mom, and they would just
ignore them. Just focus.
Like, I'm like, don't you hear the child calling me? Like, you're so terrible. I'm never going to be that kind of mom. Yeah. And now Harden could be like, mom. I'm like, I'm busy.
I always feel like those moms and stuff are like the best ones to date, because I feel like to the lost flock, they seem kind of like bipolar people. Yeah. But I'm like, oh, she has multitasking skills. She's like, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, my day was all... Sit down!
Exactly.
Sit down! Before you break your neck and I go to the hospital. Yeah, so how was your day? I was like,
I would have never thought I would have told my kid to hold on. I would have never thought I would have been like, no, wait, I'm busy. I'm doing something. You know what I mean? I'd be like, no, I'm going to attend to his needs right now. Like, you know what I mean? But again, you don't know. Until you know. You don't know until you know. Right? So it's one of those things that I've gained so much insight and so much experience at this point, personally and of course professionally, that like, yeah, I'd be kidding myself if I held that back. I'd be kidding myself because I could definitely tell you, and maybe you want to look at me as a what not to do. You know what I mean? To help you along the way. But I also know what to do. Right?
Which is good.
Which is good. Which is good. Because I not only just through my personal experiences, but also through my professional experiences.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, at first I was a little concerned about that, but I was like, okay, don't then. There's also that. Because God had to deal with me on about that. When the whole imposter syndrome thing was coming up, that's one of the things he dealt with me about. He was like, well, look, if somebody doesn't want to listen to you, then who cares?
No, because I thought about there was like way back in the day, like I remember an ex-girlfriend of mine, she used to watch some celebrity matchmaker, millionaire
matchmaker.
Yeah. With the brunette, whatever,
Patty,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And one time I was watching it, or she was watching us walk past. I was like, "She's single?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, I don't know if I would buy that though. Like if I'm somebody looking for somebody and stuff, and that your story is better to me because I'm looking like it's better to love and loss and not love at all.
100%.
So I look at it.
You have to know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Right? So like when you are a single person, single, never married, I think you'd be a great matchmaker and or coach for single people that are looking, you know what I mean, to be doing what you're doing, what you've mastered. But if you've not had any other experience,
chance to master the marriage,
if you hadn't had any other experience, like whether it failed or not, because I don't look at failure. That's another thing. Failure is a necessity in life. Like you have to, and if you look at it right, failure is what's going to catapult you to your next level.
Right.
Right. So you need to fail right. Right. And I think in my situation, I failed right. And I think that my ex-husband, because like the truth is, my ex-husband and I are literally, he's like one of my best friends.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're excellent co-parents. You know what I'm saying? And so like, we've both grown so much. We both take accountability for what went wrong. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm a firm believer in once you love someone, you don't just stop loving them.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah. So you just have to, I had to get comfortable with that because I know that that's going to be a thing for some people. And if that's your thing, then I'm not the person for you. And I'm totally comfortable with that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like listen to somebody else then that could be faking it, but okay.
No.
They could be telling you like, oh no, me and my husband or me and my wife are this and that. Yeah. You're at each other's head every night.
Well, because like, I mean, I look at it stuff as where if I'm to go choose now to say, all right, I'm going to go look for a matchmaker now, right? I would want at least some info and stuff on the person 100%. Or a bio or something at least. Like, you know, I read bios on people's pages.
100%. Yeah.
So if I'm looking at stuff and you're telling me, oh, you've been married for over 35 years and stuff, I'm like, shit, you must have been through some battles.
100%.
Right? And 100%. Then like, if I can get to know, because, you know, people will let off how much they will let off 100%. To the world.
Yeah.
And if I can't get to know anything past that, whatever, like, oh, you're single. I'm like, but I need you to match me with somebody. You need matching your damn self. Yeah. So that's how I would look at it. But I'm like, your explanation was perfect because I look at it stuff as like, yeah, you've been through the battles. 100%. You've been through the storms and you came out of stuff, whatever, with a proper co-parent. Yeah. Because I look at it stuff as where some people and stuff, even after the divorce, they're still at each other's throats.
No, definitely not that. We both just had to grow up and, you know, learn some life lessons, take accountability for both of our actions. And then it just, I'm fortunate. I guess I would have to say that. I'm also fortunate because I also never pick people I've always been good at picking the right people. Right. So
I would friends, lovers,
all of that. I've not been somebody that's been horribly mistreated in life. Do you know what I mean? Because I think that's a testament to me picking the right people. Right, I vibe off people's energy. Like
that's a hell of amount of accountability, though, which is dope. But I think a lot of people want stuff that they feel like they would feel the opposite. Because I know people that's been through some storms with their own personal life, and it's kind of like, I don't know why these things happen to me. But I'm like, but you had to say yes to set individual.
100%.
Right.
You have to own it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I had to own my parts. I had to own the parts where I was like, man, you were not practicing what you preach right there, girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to own that.
Right.
You have to see it for what it is. Call it out. And then deal with it and move past it. That's why I have the confidence now to be like, yeah, it is what it is. And we are in a much better place right now.
What do you think that might be I want to say kind of like, let's say one major problem for men currently dating, and then one for women currently dating, why they're not having that much success?
You know what? It's always going to go back to the same thing. I'm pretty sure you guys can say it with me now at this point.
Yeah.
You don't know yourself.
Don't know yourself.
You don't know yourself. You don't know what you really want and what you really need to thrive in a relationship. And as long as you think it's these surface things that are, normatives that society tells you, but it's not really what you want. Maybe your family wants that for you. Maybe like, you know what I mean? Oh, all your friends are doing it like that.
Some people, but I find that some people can't tune out like that background noise.
They cannot. But that's because you don't know yourself. Because if you were to take the time to get to know you for real, then you would feel at some point your confidence, your God-given confidence would step in and be like, no. Like everybody has something that is redeeming, something that is beautiful about them, something that somebody is going to be attracted to. There is one thing I can tell you for sure is that there is someone for everyone. Okay. Some of the matches I've done seen, even some of the matches I put together, child, I was like, wow. sometimes, I would put matches together and I'm thinking like I'm like, no, they're married next week. 100% it's done. It's like a Law and Order match. Like, he's a cop and she's a lawyer. It's perfect. And like, no. And they'll be like, why did you put? I'm like, really? I honestly thought that was going to be great. You had all these things in common. It was like, it just goes to show you that this is a thing that, a lot of matchmakers aren't going to say, but I'm going to tell you the truth. Here's the reality of it, right? A matchmaker is matching a lot of the time on all the crap you've put down on paper. Just like when you're online dating and it makes you fill out whatever. Okay. Yeah, that's like, it's fluff. So what I had to learn to do when I started to be it wasn't just about numbers anymore. It was about literally, and this was probably like, again, full transparency. This is probably like 3 years into matchmaking.
Okay.
So this would have been the early 2000s. Before that, it was just about numbers. Like, you know what I mean? Just, okay, so this person looks good with that person. Okay, they said this, so that's in common. Okay, yeah, they have that in common. Okay, yeah, it's a match. And so then I had to stop that because it started to because I'm going to get this because they're going to call me back.
Right.
Yeah. And I realized I don't want to deal with that.
Right.
So they're going to call me back and be like, why did you do it? I'm like, oh, because like you guys both like hockey.
I was about to say, like, how
he meets your height requirement.
Yeah, like how would you guys like I'm curious. Like I don't want to give out your sauce to your business, but does hobbies is one of the reasons?
There's people. I had a lady that was adamant that he had to be a golfer. Like, if he doesn't golf, don't even match me with him. He has to be a golfer. And so the one day, so I was going along with her.
Expectation,
I was going along with the foolishness. Because this is the time when I was going along with the foolishness because I changed that. And she, I was matching her with men that said they like golfing because that was her priority number one.
Right.
And so after I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 matches that weren't going well, they weren't going anywhere. I just said to her, I was looking at her profile, I was like, she said that she was divorced. So I was like, how long you been divorced? And she said that she was divorced for X amount of years. And I was like, did your husband like to golf? And she was like, oh, absolutely. Did you just hear yourself?
Your ex.
You're telling me
the person you broke up from loved the golf.
And you still got a divorce. So that just goes to show you that, the golf thing, the hobby thing, that's cute. And it'd be nice to have some things in common that you guys can do together. Right. For sure. However, it's not a priority. It's not the priority. It's about, can this person love you in a manner that makes it feel like love to you? That's what it is. Do you know what I mean? Is this man a man of character?
I always thought that like,
You know what I mean?
like I don't say envy, but I always just admire like the personal fitness women.
Yep.
Right? Because when I see them out there, especially the ones with the journeys and stuff, and they used to look like this and this and this is their world. I'm like, oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't think I'm fit enough to date a woman like that, whatever, right? And I always looked at it stuff as where if me, I like to kind of sleep in on some specific days and you want to go get like a 10K run in, whatever, we are not the same. Yeah. Like, I don't think this is a match made in heaven. So, but you're saying that we don't have to have the similar... Okay.
There could be things that you absolutely do with your friends. There could be things that you learn to do together. Do you know what I mean? And then there should be things that you do have in common that you both like, you both enjoy. Right? There does need to be that commonality. However, it needs to be more based on personality, temperament type, mindset, you know what I mean? Character, all of those things are that's the priority. Not necessarily that hobbies you both like both like the same crap. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, in the beginning I was doing that, and then I realized that these people aren't successful that way. Do you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to talk to you about it after. I just don't want to talk about it. So I'm like, something's got to
give. He didn't golf.
I know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I was like, something's got to give. So then I just started to be more intentional with it, like intentional in a different way. Because I was always intentional. It always mattered to me, right? But I was taught a certain way up front. Like when I first was learning how to do matchmaking, it was like, look at this and compare these things and do this and da-da-da. Right. And it wasn't really focused on these two temperaments, these two personalities, these two characters. Right. And so, so by the third year of me in my matchmaking career, I changed that. And then I started to see so much success for these people, right? Because I started matching them on their characters. Like I would get to know them. I'd build rapport with them over the phone. Like I want to get to know you really well because I want to match for the things that are not on paper. Right. Because the things on paper are fluff. Your education, I'm sorry. You can fall in love with someone that went to high school and it became an entrepreneur one day. You know what I mean? Because ladies used to be, and it was ladies typically that were very strict about a lot of things, where the men weren't that strict. They were always more like, I just want her to be beautiful. And I want her to be slender. I want her to be slender and attractive. And I want her to be nice to me. Just be peaceful and I'm good. You know what I mean? They were a lot more simple. And the ladies, of course, because, we're ramping up this matriarchy, were very into like, he has to do this and
be this tall.
Yeah, and I want him to be this tall and he needs to have this education with this amount of money in the bank. And and you get all of that and then you get divorced. You get all of that and he beats the crap out of you. But you get all of that, he's always cheating on. Yeah, like that's not where it's at. You want someone whose character matches yours, someone who you can respect. And that's what I'm always trying to get women to understand is that don't just be with anybody to be with anybody, because you have to be able to respect that man in order for him to love you in a manner that's going to feel like love to you. He first needs to feel respected.
I just feel like some women out here just don't respect no men at all.
Well, some men aren't respectable, right? You're doing stuff
that I can agree with. I can agree with
that.
Yeah,
you know what
I can definitely agree with that. But
100%.
I look at it stuff as where I've seen some, like, all right, my thing is stuff is that for me, I would look at stuff as that my woman and I, we should have, like, if we're having serious conversations or things that's not too, quote unquote, positive speaking, like behind closed doors. Because that's our business.
100%.
When I see a couple and stuff like talking bad about each other in front, like at a barbecue, at a function and stuff like that, like, I told him to lay off the potato salad. All he does is eat the potato salad. I'd be looking like, yo, damn, boo, you couldn't whisper that to your man? Could have gone to the side?
Yeah.
Like, you had to,
That happens a lot.
So I'm like, how long you guys been together? 25 years. How, Sway? How? I'd have been out year one.
100%. It happens a lot. And a lot of the time, I always say this. I'm always saying that, look, a lot of men think that they get respect by,
getting vagina?
Yeah, or being like an Andrew Tate type. You know what I'm saying? Like what Andrew's probably not showing you, because this is also part of his persona, right?
Right.
But he's not also showing you that he is probably loving towards these women, and that's why they respect him. Do you know what I'm saying? When you're just saying all of these things like, oh, my woman better, and I got my woman under control. I'm the alpha, and I'm and I'm like, look, let me tell you something. Craig at work, he about to get into your lady. He's going to get to know her real good because she is over there telling Craig.
She's already his work
everything.
Wife. She's already his work wife.
She's over there telling Craig everything about you. You know what I mean? And you think that your woman has all this respect for you, but she doesn't. You're not respectable. So she's not going to respect you. And that's just the reality of it. You know what I'm saying? You have to be a respectable man. You have to carry yourself in a certain way. Do you know what I'm saying? And then you'll get the respect that you need. Right. And it's a real give and take. It is. You have to respect him and then he will love you. And it really does start with that first. Look, I don't make the rules. God did. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He put all of it on Adam. He was like, Adam, it's you. Okay. Everything, it's you. You know what I mean? God wanted a patriarchy. He wanted the woman to respect the man. Mm-hmm. That's how he knew that you guys were going to receive love. And I think that's because you guys are made, because we all are, but made in his image. And what does God want from us? Right? All religions. So, exactly. So I think that it starts with the woman respecting her man. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's really important that women pick men that they can respect. Right. Because if you do not respect him, your relationship is going to suffer. You're going to be surviving it versus thriving in it. You know what I mean? And it's not that. And I also always want to throw this in here because I don't want people to ever think that I'm saying that relationships are, easy and that it's always going to be, you're always going to be thriving. You're not going to always be thriving. Mm-hmm. You're going to have lots of bouts. It's ebbs and flows, right? Yeah. There's challenges in relationships. However, exactly. However, if you're with the right person, then you're going to get through those things. That's a part of a healthy relationship. People think that healthy relationships mean that you guys don't argue. I remember I had somebody that I was talking to, a man I was talking to about this, and he was like trying to get some advice. And I was like, he was telling me that his last relationship fell apart. And he was like, he just couldn't understand what happened. He was like, everything was great. Like we never argued. We always got along. Like he could not understand why all of a sudden 3 years later, she was up and out. And I was like, okay, well, the first thing that I heard was you said that you never argued.
That is a problem.
That is a problem. There's conflict in a relationship. That's how you build confidence in your relationship. That's how you build trust in your relationship is through conflict. Do you know what I'm saying? And so if somebody's not being authentic, right. Somebody's not being real. Right. Because if you are constantly
being real,
you never argue. I'm not saying that you got to argue every time or argue all the time or whatever. No, you don't have to argue a majority of the time. However, there has to be disagreements in your relationship. In order for it to be healthy. Otherwise, you're not in a real relationship. You're with a yes ma'am or a yes sir. Right. Do you know what I mean? And that means that person is not authentic. You have no idea who they really are. You're going to sleep that night with an absolute stranger.
For 3 years.
For 3 years. And then all of a sudden she was like, she's out. Like, this is just not fulfilling for her. Yeah, it's not fulfilling for her because she was never being real with you. If she had been real with you from jump, she would have told you all the things that was what her challenges were. Yeah. And you probably would have been real with her too. But very because true. She's not saying anything to you, you're not saying anything to her. Right? So you guys are living.
Oh, it's all perfect.
Yeah, Oh, no, we're great. We're great. Okay. You need disagreement. It's a part of a relationship.
Okay, let me ask you this and then we can move on. When should a person look towards a matchmaker to hire a matchmaker?
You want to say it with me? Yeah. Once you've done your work. Do the work on yourself, right?
But some people don't. I feel like they...
Because you say you got that Podical, right?
Yes. So I'm going to... I'm going to share as much as I can share right now because I don't think I've been given the absolute green light to say everything about how.
Don't give out the secret sauce.
About how.
Just give them a sampler. Just give them a sampler. Put a little on the toothpick for them. Don't give them the full sauce.
So I'm going to give you a little sample of how Artistry Academy and matchmaking is going to work because I'm just getting this up and on.
And she's gonna give you the socials where you can find
100%, 100%, 100%.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna show you how to get down with me if you vibe in what I'm talking about. So I feel like, sorry, I missed the question. What was the question again?
When should a person hire?
So I feel like you have to go through a process of learning about yourself. You have to understand who you are and what it is you need to thrive in a relationship. And once you have that, then your experience with a matchmaker or even online or whatever it might be, friends, whatever it is, will be easier. So when should you go to a matchmaker? When you're actually ready for it. Because what people come to me with is that they're serious. But you being serious is not good enough.
Right.
Because you're serious. You're sure you should be serious, right? And you're throwing all this money because it's like, I'm serious. I'm showing you how serious I am. I'm prepared to do this.
You know what collateral,
I mean? But you're not ready. You're not ready for what you're asking for. So therefore, it will fail.
Right.
It will flop on you. So you need to do the work on yourself, and then you can come to a matchmaker. So the tidbit.
And this is sound advice because she had told you about the ones who are not ready and shilling out money. Not all matchmakers are gonna not take your money without you being ready. All right, so just listen to the sound advice, and again,
I'm telling you,
watch out for the socials.
I'm telling you, because you're right. There's a lot of matchmakers that will just take your money, and you know, in fairness to them, I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. It's probably with good intent. You know what I mean? They feel like they can match this person. But what I've learned is that I'm too good at what I do to be out here playing with you. So like, you're not going to waste my time. Like you could waste your time.
Stand on business.
But you're not going to waste my time.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So like at the end of the day, because I know I can do this and do it at a high level and do it well, I'm not going to accept certain stuff from you. You have to come prepared. You have to come ready. So that's why I created Artistry Academy and matchmaking, so that this is a way for people to have the best of both worlds. Okay. So there's the academy part of it, which is the learning part, right? Of how to be in a relationship. Because the truth is, none of us were ever taught how to be in a relationship.
No.
We learn how to be in relationships through trial and error.
That's
right? There's no
in TV shows.
Yeah, 100%. Movies. And we know how that go.
Well, I look at it stuff as like, it depends. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, because I was looking like, if you had let's say some people and stuff, their parents probably dropped jewels.
Yeah.
And they probably picked up a few and stuff, whatever, right? Like I've heard like this girl, she told me one time that her mom, she picked up a bad thing from her mom. Her mom's like, retail therapy is the best therapy and stuff, whatever. And she had to unlearn that behavior and stuff over the course of years. So, but it's still something as a child, she picked up and stuff along the way and stuff, right? So she picked up other things and stuff going along from seeing her parents. Like they shared bills together. They did this together and stuff. So in her eyes and stuff, whatever, a good relationship is a partnership.
100%.
Right.
But some people don't have even like a imagery to kind of put in their head
100%.
to see. So what you're saying is, I get it. Like you're not really schooled, especially if you haven't seen it before, 100%.
Right? Or you're confused by it because a lot of people say things, but then they act a different way. Right? So it's like, you hear your parents saying, I love you, but he still punches her in the face. You know what I mean? So it's like, what? You know what I mean? That's why part of the academy part is to learn about yourself. Right. You have, and it's going to take you like
and maybe unlearn a few things.
100%. Right. You'll have to figure out what you need to unlearn. Right. Because once you start to become authentically who you are and not what anybody else's standard of who you should be is, but what you want to be, and you're building your relationship with God, he will show you who you are. Right. Right. And then you'll be able to step out in confidence about who you are. Because like I was saying before, there's someone for everyone.
Right.
Okay. You never have to worry about, I'll die alone. You only die alone if you choose to die alone. Do you know what I'm saying? So like there's someone for everyone. And with the academy part of it, some of it is like workbooks and stuff like that. And a lot of it's going to take you back to childhood to see what you saw, what you unintentionally or intentionally picked up that you now know is not working for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? You have to look at those things. You have to look at the things that confused you in the sense that you saw one thing, but heard a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, but it's coming from your parents, right? That's your first, you know what I mean? Your first true loves are your parents, right? And so and then you'll have to learn that your parents are human beings, right?
Right.
And that takes you becoming an adult as well and having your own children to realize that, oh, dang. You know what I mean? That my parents are humans. You know what I mean? They're not, you know what I mean? But you have to be intentional about it. And that's what the academy part of it is. Okay. It's the intention of learning about yourself, becoming the best version of yourself, understanding who God is calling you to be in this world. Because another thing is, I always tell single people that you will find your match when you are doing what you've been told to do, when you're doing what God has purposed you to do. That's where you're going to find your person. So that leads me to the matchmaking end. So I'm not going to get too much on this.
No. Save the
However,
sauce.
I'm going to say this, that I actually am not going to be matching you. You are going to match yourselves.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
However, you're going to match yourself with a pool of amazing people.
Because
you've done the curation.
Yeah.
So that's, and this is where we're at now, right? This is where we're at now. In the stage of it is now I'm starting to take submissions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, if you like what I'm saying, if it makes sense to you and you're looking for a God-fearing man or woman that, that they've learned about themselves, they've done all the work, then this is what you want to do. You'll want to join Artistry Academy in Matchmaking so that you're going to be put in situations where you're going to be with like-minded people. And only thing that you have to now do is determine, does this personality work for me? Because everything else is going to make sense.
Right.
It's just going to be a matter of, because the character is going to be there. It's just going to be a matter of literal personality types meshing well. And then attraction, of course, because attraction is important. We can't understate that. And play like that doesn't matter. It matters. It's one of the first things that I look at when I'm putting matches together.
Thank you.
It is.
Because I remember I was sold on what was that show? Married at First Sight?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't know what the person looked like.
Yeah.
Everything sounds cute and pretty on paper.
100%.
So I'm like, yeah, I want a woman that looks like this. Naomi Campbell, all the above. And then you give me somebody and stuff, and you're like,
yes,
y'all fucked up reading the paperwork. Right. But then it's like, no, this is, we're going by. I'm like, but it's not what I'm attracted to.
100%.
Naomi Campbell.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Naomi Campbell.
I was looking for this. So you sent me that. What's that?
And like, but based on the qualifications, we felt like.
Yeah, no, I know. No, attraction matters. And you can't, I don't play with people like that. You need to be attracted to your person, because the truth of the matter is, if you aren't attracted, there's more Satan will mess with you for sure in your relationship. He'll definitely, if you give him a foothold, if you give him a little room, crack a door like that, by being with someone that you're not attracted to, oh my gosh, he's going to send women all over the place.
All over that look like the ones
that you're attracted to, that actually want you too. So now you're in a moral dilemma. And guess who's likely to win?
I got it now, Marv. See, it's Satan. Remember when I told you, women never pay attention to you when you're by yourself?
Yeah.
But as soon as you got a beautiful woman on your arm,
got a ring on your finger.
Satan will send them on.
100%. That's why,
Damn you, Lucifer.
The Bible tells you that, listen, don't stay from having sex with your partner. It's important. You can't, men and women, you can't be taking too many days off, because that gives Satan a foothold.
I actually saw a video of an older Toronto couple and stuff, whatever. The old school light G. He's like a light-skinned OG and stuff, whatever. And he's buying honey packets in one of the convenience stores.
Right.
So he's buying 3 honey packets and stuff. And the wife is recording him and telling the store clerk he's buying them to give her bun, to cheat on her or whatever, right? And he's like, after you haven't slept with me in over 14 years. So I'm looking like, who's really in the wrong in this situation and stuff?
But you see what happens?
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's also going to play a role, again, going back to, you need to be attracted to that person. And that's why you also need to keep yourself up. Don't just fall apart because you're married now.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's not fair.
Thank
Like, yes, life
no
happens.
track pants.
You know,
Not always the track pants.
okay. The gray sweatpants every once in a while. That's not bad. That's
not bad. Earn day? Earn day? And you got a new one on laundry day to go back to that old one? Nah, man.
Right? But
that's the 7th head time, the span of 6 days.
Yo.
Exactly. Like, come on. But like, yeah, you want to make sure that you are picking someone that you're attracted to. And that's you know, for the ladies, the millennial girls, I find that the millennial girls, what they be doing now is because they have this impression that all men cheat. Mm-hmm. They are like, they bought that 100%, hook, line, and sinker. Yeah. Now they just go for whatever man is going to spend the most amount of money on them, right? Because that's where they're going to get
that's
their
the compensation.
100% because you're going to cheat. So I can't, and I tell men, listen, look, the worst thing you could do is be with a woman that knows that you're cheating on her. Yeah. And stays. Because that means she's not emotionally attached to you at all. Yeah. And if she's not emotionally attached to you at all, the next person that comes around.
Yeah. So, okay.
You're definitely getting bun.
I have this script. You know, I want to, you know, revamp Indecent Proposal. You know? Okay. Make it a more black kind of situation and stuff, whatever. So to swap a Robert Redford, we would use Idris Elba. Okay. Right? And
sounds good to me.
For the couple, we would use let's say Zendaya for like the woman. Okay. And for the husband and stuff, whatever, we can find any young, handsome lad. We'll use the guy from Snowfall, whatever. They have some Idris, whatever, right? Yeah. So they're the couple. And now Idris now comes and says, like, you know, a man ain't doing shit now in today's time economy. Yeah. So we'll say Idris throw up $10 million to spend the night with the wife and everything like that, right? And you're like,
I'm telling you, because you breeze hits you, huh? I'm telling you right now.
That breeze hit you do it for less. We know you do.
No, I'm not doing it at all. But I'm saying that there's a lot of women that would.
Yes.
And there's a lot of men that would allow it.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So now this would speak on values. Yeah. So I look at me like, yeah, if my woman is quote unquote priceless to me, why am I putting her up for $10 million?
She's not priceless to you.
Right.
That's the truth.
And if she's allowing, like, it's just going to be a one night thing, but we're going to go back to happily ever after, like nothing happened.
That's another. That's what same thing I feel about, like, you know, threesomes. Like when people ask me, is it okay to have a threesome? I mean,
in a marriage or in a relationship?
In a relationship at any, and like whether it be a marriage or just a relationship. It's, to me, I think it's a terrible idea.
I think so too. Yeah.
Because you let somebody, and also, you know, outside of biblical reasons for why it's adultery, but also it's just the psyche of the relationship is going to fall apart.
Why did you say that piece? The biblical. So if
it's adultery, you invited somebody else into your relationship,
but they're both agreeants.
I know, but it's still adultery.
Is it now?
100%.
So open relationships, how do you feel about that?
An open relationship is absolutely, it's adultery. It's the wickedest form of adultery too. It's wicked to yourself to even do that to yourself. Yeah, no. I mean, y'all could disagree with me.
No.
I just feel like, I'm talking to your viewers.
Okay.
At the end of the day, like, look, you could say that, no, I do love myself and I'm in an open relationship. It's fine. I just feel like there's something missing. If you don't feel that you are valuable enough to be with one person, I mean, again, this is my opinion, so let's be clear about that.
Right, because the polyamorous people will fight.
100%. Like, no,
the thruples.
I value myself. Okay, I'm just saying, I feel like when I see that, I feel like, I wish you would have loved yourself a little more. I wish you would have loved yourself a little more and known that you were so worth. I think you're so worth, you know, having someone's full undivided attention on you and just you. But then, you know, I'll hear from these ladies because some of them, like, I've spoken to them and they'll be like, no, like, that's not for me. In which case, you know what? Yes, sis, you're right. That's not for you.
Yeah.
100%. And live your life. Do your thing. But like I said, when you walk with Satan, there's going to be a burden.
God's calling. And God's coming.
It is because it's just outright a sin. So. And when you invite sin into your life, more sin comes and more satanic activity is produced and life gets miserable. So for that 5, you know, minutes that maybe 45 minutes if you're real lucky that you with both your boyfriends and girlfriends or whatever. Sure. But at some point, yeah.
Okay.
They know.
Well said.
Well
said.
Yep.
Let's get to the question of the week.
Okay.
Question of the week. Are you ready?
Ready.
Question of the week says, which means more to you? A text message or a phone call?
Phone call.
Phone call?
Text message? Yeah.
Now, what if you're what if the person you're dealing with is an introvert and they prefer text messages and you prefer phone calls? How would your worlds mesh?
So I wouldn't pick a person that is too far off of my personality type. So
that's
if that
including
person,
friends?
Well, you're birds of a feather flock together, right?
Mm.
That's like a real thing,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
You want to know who you are, check out your friends, right? If you are one of the, I always say this to people, like if you're like a friend that's always talking crap about other friends, just know that they're talking about you too. Because birds of a feather
Your time
flock
will come.
together.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah.
So, no, oddly enough, because people never know this about me, but I'm very introverted.
Okay.
I'm just really good at being extroverted.
Because you practice.
You practice.
And practice makes
100%.
perfect.
And also because I have a career where I'm always dealing with people.
And that's part of your practice.
100%.
My beef with introverts all the time is that introverts are extroverts that never practice.
100%.
Once you have enough practice and everything like that, whatever, no one will be able to tell you.
100%,
Exactly.
Right.
100%. I can do well in both situations. However, how I know that I'm introverted is because I prefer one over the other. Right.
Right.
So
Exactly.
I prefer to, so I would, if I would like want to send a text message, right? However, I know that a phone call is more beneficial, right? And there's a place for text messaging. I think that a text message.
I agree.
I think a text message is nice, throughout the day. If you have busy days or whatever, you know what I mean? Sending a text message.
But some people will text even a significant other or somebody else like a whole paragraph.
Or they'll break up over text. People break up over text messages.
Yeah.
Like,
See, text messages would be more than them. Text messages would be like, I said what I said when I pressed send.
Like, what? You just broke a 5-year relationship via text? That's crazy. Like, no, you need to have a conversation. But I think there's a place for text messaging. Like in the early stages of getting to know someone, I say absolutely no text messaging. Talk. Because you don't know this person well enough to know their tone. You got to get to know somebody before you be getting text messages from them. Because sometimes you could read something that sounds wild. Man. And you're like,
right.
Is that person being rude?
Yeah.
Like, they put a capital on that. Is that like, what does that even mean? Like, and they put an emoji that said like, what is?
Yeah.
Because you don't know that person well enough.
You can't catch the reflection.
100%. You talk. And then once you get, to know each other really good enough, at least, then start. Good morning, beautifuls. Good morning, handsomes. Like, I hope you're having a great day. But like lengthy, meaningful conversation via text message.
Man,
yeah. No. I always say that if we're going past like 2 or 3 texts, I'm stopping. I'm calling you.
Yeah. But and so that was mine. So I remember in the beginning, I remember one time I dated one woman. So say when I met her, it was like public setting. Yeah. Right. Swapped out info and everything. Like everything's all cool, all good. Then she goes to text me and stuff with her. I'm like, all right, well, I'm driving now. And she texting me and stuff with her. So when I got to the light, I just hit send, whatever. She like, can't talk right now. But like, I can't text right now. I'm driving.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, then we'll pick it up and stuff a later time. But she's still like, do. So my music and stuff is going. And she's still texting me and shit like something like, am I supposed to stop at the light? And
every time I'm pull over?
I'm like, we're not doing this, whatever, right? Yeah. So then I called later that night, whatever. I was like, yo, you had a lot of shit to text earlier. Yeah. I'm done driving. I'm in for the night. Yeah. Walk on. And she's like, oh, it's getting late. I'm going to go to bed.
It's like, word?
Twitter fingers. I'm not dealing with Twitter fingers, man.
Yeah, no. See, text messaging is for once you get to know somebody.
Fair.
And then you could start sending off all kinds of text messages.
You learn something new every day. Thank you for the lesson.
You're gonna know the nuance of whatever they're saying. You're gonna get the inflection, and you know what I mean. You're gonna get them, because I know for sure if I was sending text messages to somebody that doesn't know me well enough, they wouldn't even know what to do with me. They'd be like, "Oh gosh, are you mad at me, or like, are you being serious? Because I'm sarcastic." So
it'd
be a mess. So yeah, no, I would definitely go with phone call.
If I ever see capitals, I just think everybody's just yelling now. That's
like you're mad at me.
I'm still analog, living in a digital world, so I'm always perplexed when it comes to that.
When you see it,
be like, "No way!" All capitals are like.
It's like, is that a good no way, or is that like?
I'm like my hands are.
Are you
up,
happy no way, or are you mad no way? Like, what's no way? Yeah, no, definitely
fair
conversation. Yeah.
That's fair. Smooth, your agreements too? Text
message
over phone?
No. Phone? Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Phone is greater. Yeah. I'm okay with that too. All right. Yeah. Let's get to the Ask the Sons questions, and then we can slide up out of here.
Okay.
First Ask the Sons comes from Wellrelaxed. What is a luxury that people don't realize it's a luxury?
Sleep.
I was gonna say air condition when it came to the heat. Because I was driving the other day, I looked at somebody and stuff, they're like, and I looked at them like, "You good?" They're like, "You're not sweating?" I was like, "I kind of live for the summer air." I'm like, "That's just me." We're at the light, whatever, right? And the guy's like, he looked at me, he's like, "All these cars, they're made with heaters, but the aircon is what you pay for." And he took off, whatever. I was like, air condition is. Because think about it, like if you're in a well air conditioned type of place, and especially in Ontario, you're expecting heat.
Right.
You're not expecting aircon.
Yeah.
That's one.
I think for me, something that is a luxury that people don't know is common sense.
Common sense is a luxury.
Don't you think so now? Look at the world around you. Is there a lot of common sense?
My auntie said common sense is like deodorant and everybody uses it.
They don't.
No, they don't.
They don't.
But I guess deodorant is a luxury?
Common sense ain't common.
Deodorant's a luxury too.
Deodorant's a luxury.
You know what it is?
It is true.
This is one of the things. I know we're wrapping this up, but this is an important thing that I want y'all to really consider this, okay? Because I feel like people don't think thoughts all the way through anymore.
Talk about it.
I think people just come to a place and that's the decision. And you didn't think that all the way through. If you had thought that through, the outcome would have been different.
Right.
So you need to learn to think your thoughts as far as you can go, right? Because you're only going to be able to go so far.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's how we learn, right? Is when you think a thought as far as you can think that thought, and then you realize that, oh, okay. And then you might need to do some research. You might need to learn something new, right? In order to expand the thought further.
Right. That is so true.
If we get into the practice of thinking, right? Thinking past a certain point, we're going to save ourselves.
Well, we always argue about that, how they remove critical thinking out of
100%.
Like
out of
schools and everything.
Schools,
everything.
100. I'm on my son about that. I'm like, think the thought all the way through. Go all the way with it hard and don't just stop there.
You know, it's so funny. Yeah. So I remember OG told me this and stuff, whatever. So there was somebody I used to work with back in the day. And before she retired, I think she said something to me like, she's like, "Are you single?" So at the time I was single, I was like, "Yeah." She's like, and this was before I got married. And she's like, "If any girl you take to your bed, you can't wake up and take them to City Hall the next day, you're wasting your time. You have to look past the bedroom."
Right.
100%.
You have to think past the bedroom. You have to think like,
100%.
can you see her raising your kids? Can you see her doing this, 100%. That, and the third? And I was like, oh shit. And it was an eye opener and stuff like that. She's like, yo, you gotta think as far as, beyond.
As far as no one's expecting you to go past what you can understand, right?
Right.
Because you don't want to go into a world that you don't understand, because then whatever thought you're thinking is just
overthinking, paranoia.
Right, exactly. You're just you could be hurting yourself, right? Too, either way. But as much as you can go there with it. You know what I mean? So see it all the way through. So just like that lady was saying to you, if you meet somebody and, you start to see the signs of whatever it could be. Maybe it's a red flag, right? And you see that you are trying to paint this red flag white. Dig in there.
Right.
Dig in there. You know what I mean? Try to like, why do I want to do that? Like, why would I do that? Okay, because if I do that, then what's the outcome of this? And then you want to weigh all of those things out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's how you're going to save yourself in the end. And then you also want to have a little healthy pessimism too. You know, there's that.
True.
Hmm.
Well said.
Yeah.
Okay. Got the next question. Next question comes from Golden Waffles. Where's the loser from your school? Smooth. Where's the loser from your school? The quote unquote person they deemed as the loser. They probably turned into a winner for all you know.
Yeah, listen, I was about to say the last time I heard he was actually working in a few studios doing production.
And music production?
Yeah.
Nice.
And we really thought like he would have well, first and foremost, he didn't finish high school. So that's where the whole idea of him being a loser was
Did he roll up his papers in between class? Because I feel like if you folded your papers, roll up your papers.
Right.
I looked at stuff, I was like, yeah, you put in your back pocket. I was like, this doesn't seem too ambitious of you. Like you give a lot of I don't care era.
Right.
But okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I think for me, so I know a few individuals, but I want to say more so one. He wasn't successful like that.
Right.
But the funny thing too is that his conversation was fire. Like when I ran into him, and stuff like that, we were having conversation and stuff. I was like, I told him like I've sat with lawyers, doctors, etc., people who've excelled and stuff in the world. And I want to say, I felt like he was already on sage mode.
Right.
Like he was like, but then it's all his experiences and stuff. He's like, you applied yourself in school. I didn't apply myself in school. So I learned the pitfalls and the hardships and stuff, turning 18, being an adult. So he saw a lot of shit that kind of changed him and he had to kind of own up to some of his bads and realize like, yeah, I wasn't born with a silver spoon nor two parents that can help me. So I didn't apply myself. So now I'm suffering. So now I have to go from the suffering to winning.
Right.
And he came along and stuff. And I'm like, his story was amazing and stuff.
That's beautiful.
Right? Yeah. And then, I don't know, another one, like I was telling Smooth and stuff, whatever. One dude I went to high school with, I walked into a Wendy's, I'm from Cleveland. So I walked into a Wendy's and stuff, whatever. And I saw a dude and stuff, whatever. And he knew me, but like the face seemed familiar until he called me out by my name. He's like, Marv. I'm like, oh, hey. I'm like, still didn't register until we're talking. He's like, you still talk to this person, this person? I'm like, and I saw the name tag. I'm like, yes. Then he hooked it up at Wendy's. Like,
nice.
yo,
See?
like I went there with a $5 bill. We're leaving like with like $30 worth of stuff.
Exactly.
So, like,
see? It worked
score.
out. It worked out. Good thing he worked at Wendy's.
Yeah. So you're not a loser to me.
No, he's a winner. He's a winner.
He's a winner to you. Exactly.
What about you?
I actually don't. I can't even tell you that I know. Where's the loser? I don't know.
Was there anybody they deemed that?
Okay, yeah, they're a loser.
They're like, oh, he ain't gonna be shit. She ain't gonna be shit. She's you know, like on her baby mama stage or some shit like that. You know.
There was one girl. Of course, I'm not gonna name names.
No, we're not gonna.
We're not gonna name names.
I don't know that much changed for her. I don't. Since the last time I had seen her, which probably has got to be 15, 16 years ago at this point. Yeah, she was on the streets. So I don't know. But she could have something else. I don't really know what happened to the losers. I never really kept in touch with losers.
Because you're winning too much.
Period.
Too busy winning.
Remember I told you I was pretty good at picking people?
Yes,
This
you
is
did
true.
say that. You did say that.
That is very true.
I don't know, but I hope they're doing well.
Fair.
I hope the losers are now winners.
We can all hope.
Yeah.
Fingers
crossed. Yeah.
All right. Last question comes from Tuesday_vegan. If you had 1 year left to live, what would you do? Take out a PPP loan and then go travel. I mean, if I knew, I heard a story. My father told me a story about somebody and stuff like in the past, whatever. And he told me that there was a lady that him and another relative knew. And the doctors told her in the 80s that, you know, she had only a few months to live.
Wow.
And she took out this loan and did the thing. And he just happened, him and the relative went on this tours free with her. So she's traveling with 2 quote unquote handsome men.
Right.
I'm like, oh, you're living a life. Yeah, so
Period.
I'm like, oh, so when did she pass? He's like, no, she's still alive to this day when he was telling me the story. So I'm like, 80s? I'm like, I think he told me the story in
Good for her,
2005.
though.
Yeah.
No, bad for her because she had a loan to pay back.
She came back the loan.
She paid back the loan and stuff. A lot
she
of
had to
things
pay
had to
back.
set back.
I know. See, if she had thought the thought all the way through. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
If she had
yeah.
thought about it and went
She'd have
all the
thought
way
all
with
the
the
way
thought.
I
Like,
blame the
What if I
doctor.
live?
What if I don't
What
die?
if I live?
I blame the doctors
Exactly.
because they would have got me too. I'd have went to the bank like, oh my gosh,
Right.
I'm
I
dying
was
next
supposed
week.
to be dead. I can't pay
Yeah,
this back.
I can't pay this back. Yeah, we don't care about what your doctor said.
Oh my god.
Minimum payment is due Thursday.
That's too
That's it,
funny.
that's it, that's
That's too funny.
What about you?
I've always said to travel with a loved one.
Travel with a loved one?
Yeah. Just this,
So you're
all
dying
the places where I wanted to just hit,
Mm-hmm.
just be able to do it, but with somebody to share the experience with.
100%.
Yeah.
So are you doing like Dora the Explorer type stuff? Like, you know, are you going like in the trenches of these places you want to go?
As adventurous as my other half would like to go.
Oh.
Because I don't think as much as I would want it to be for me, it's the experience of sharing it with somebody else.
Yeah.
So I also want
okay.
them to be okay with whatever or wherever we go.
I was about to say, like, yeah, I would travel. Like, I wouldn't really expect people to kind of do the things that I would do. Like, if I'm saying I will go on an ayahuasca retreat in like
Yeah.
Colombia.
Yeah.
And
No,
like,
I'm there for that one though.
Oh, you about
I'm
that
there,
life.
I'm there for that one.
You about that
if
life.
I'm part of the crew that needs to go.
Okay.
I'm there. Yeah.
I want to see the salt flats in Bolivia. You about that life? The mirror, it looks like heaven on earth.
Yeah.
You know, when like the salt makes it looks like a mirror effect.
Right.
I want to
right.
go there. Some people said like, it's too damn hot there. Like,
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I just go by my damn self. I see y'all when I get back. Hopefully the loan is not due yet. So we'll see. What about you?
I think that I would talk to every person I saw. Oddly enough, I would talk to everybody.
Introvert.
Yeah.
Can you say that louder to the mic? Could you speak clearer in
I
the
would
mic?
because it's because I'm an introvert and I can't say that talking to everybody all the time is my favorite thing to do, even though it's a part of what I do.
Right.
It's not always my favorite thing to do. So I would get out there and I would just push myself to do the things that I would like. I never wanted to do before because I want to experience it. Because I think life is about experiences.
Right. Yeah.
So before I leave here, I want to experience the things that I didn't get to experience. So I would talk to people. I would definitely want to travel with a loved one, with my family. Yeah, I would. That's what I would do. Oddly enough, I would give away a lot. I'd give away almost everything.
Well, yeah, you got a year, right? So
yeah, so I would
do the
spend
same
a day
thing.
literally for 365 days. I would give something away that was valuable to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Physical things, like
Physical, money, whatever it might be.
Oh, interesting.
Of course, not people, but like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'll give away a few people.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I would
Not
definitely.
the only one.
Yeah, I would. I'd invest in people. I'd spend time talking to people, learning their stories, and because sometimes I don't be wanting to know your story.
That's
Right.
fair.
And then, that's what I would do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we are here.
You're
Yeah.
here.
We are here at the end. We appreciate you.
It was a pleasure.
Yes. Pleasure
I'm
having
gonna hit him
you.
off with a So Say the Sons for this episode, and then a little words to the wise to the world,
Okay.
and then you can just plug in all your infos and how the people can find you.
Yes.
So So Say the Sons this week says nothing is out of reach for you. Now go and get it.
Period.
So Say the Sons. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people just make it seem like some things are just so far attainable and everything like that, but honestly, like if you know self,
100%.
again, the journey would be so much easier.
100%.
And then you can kind of plot out your moves and stuff and make it.
100%.
So Say the Sun, nothing is out of reach for you. I go in there and get it.
Period. Full stop.
Appreciate you for coming through. Tell people how
Thank
to find you, boo.
Thank you guys for having me. This was awesome.
Yeah.
Glad you had
I
fun.
enjoyed this conversation quite a
We
bit.
enjoyed it.
We
yeah.
enjoy it. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Okay, so you can visit me on my website, www.IamNicoleMelissa.com. You can email me at info@IamNicoleMelissa.com. Now, if you are interested in, so like I was explaining earlier that we're just I'm just getting this off the ground, the matchmaking end of it, and there's a lot of the academy stuff already finished. But as far as recruiting people, I'm in that stage now. So if you are a God-fearing person and looking to be in a marriage, a kingdom marriage, then I want you to go to my website. I want you to click on Ardency Academy and Matchmaking and fill out the entry form and sign up, submit. And I'm going to put you in touch with amazing human beings. That's what I'm trying to do right now.
Nice.
I'm trying to build a database of amazing God-fearing people that are ready for this. They're not just serious. They are ready for this, right? And then there's going to be a real organic feel to it. So, you know, it's matchmaking, but in a way that it'll feel good to you.
Nice.
I'll say that.
Well,
so yeah. And as far as my socials are right now, I'm on a social media break. However, I will be coming back at some point, and you can find me at I am Nicole Melissa on all socials. So like that's Insta and Facebook and LinkedIn. Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's it.
Nice.
Yeah.
We are here. It's a wrap-up time.
We are here.
Yes, you can also find us and stuff as well. Like, comment, subscribe, all the above. You see these faces and stuff on YouTube as well. Don't forget. And Podical Sons podcast. And once again, thank you for listening to Podical Sons. Remember, the difference between genius and stupidity is that genius has its limits.
Oh.
Peace and love, y'all.
Peace.
The Podical Sons with not your average Joseph and Sofa King Marvelous.